But let's just go ahead and get started, Sag, because there's a lot going on here. So at the heart of the matter here, either what you're feeling or will be feeling is left out in the cold, okay? Some of you are experiencing feelings of being left behind, left out. Some of you may even be feeling rejected or have some type of fear of rejection. That's what I'm seeing here in the heart of the matter. All right, I do see that there has been some conflict with the Five of Swords being present right next to that. There has been some conflict or maybe even some competition that has led to this feeling of being left out or possibly rejected here. But, this is all due to outside sources here. For some of you, there is some internal energy of fear of being rejected, but I do feel like it's due to some conflict that you may have experienced or due to some competition that might be there or you might be anticipating being there. Now, with the Knight of Chalices being present here, I do see an offer, okay? I feel like this was an offer that happened in recent past, okay? Somebody made an offer. It could have been you, Sag, or an offer may have come to you. Someone wanting to offer love in some form or fashion here. I'm also picking up that for some of you that made the offer, maybe you felt like you were left out in the cold. Maybe that offer was not received the way that you wanted it to be. Maybe you're thinking it's because there was other competition, or maybe there was other competition, or this non-receiving of the offer, the love proposal here, caused some conflict in a relationship is what I'm seeing. Now, the good thing is with the Death card being present, the Death card always speaks about transformation. Something is definitely changing or will change in terms of this conflict, in terms of this proposal. So for some of you, I do feel like either the offer will be received or someone will be making an offer to you. Something is definitely manifesting. There's a death of an old situation and something new blooming, new feelings. I do feel like there is something, and I also feel like there could be a death of this mindset of rejection. Maybe some of you internally are in fear of rejection, feeling like there could be some competition, or knowing there's some competition and having that internal feeling of there's a possibility that I could be rejected because of this. But that is going to transform. I feel like you're going to rise up out of that feeling of being rejected here. And for some of you that have been left out in the cold, that's also going to change as well. All right, what I am seeing here is that, again, this is another offer on the table. I feel like the tables are definitely going to turn here for you, Sag. So either you made an offer before in the past and it wasn't received, or an offer did come along, but it did not go any further because of this competition or conflict. But due to the transformation, I do feel like with the Knight of Pentacles, this talks about something changing for the better. There's some improvement here and possibly an offer that does come your way. So this also can symbolize travel. So for some of you, when we're talking about relationships, there could be someone that was not in the same vicinity as you. Maybe they are now proposing that they are going to move a little closer, or they're proposing that you move a little bit closer. And for some of you, that there is a disconnect between you and another person because you don't live in the same area, and maybe that's why there was this fear of rejection or being out in the cold, was because you guys were not in the same vicinity and there was some fear of competition. All right, so I do see that for some of you. For a small amount of you, I do see that there is possibly some travel, someone traveling to you or you traveling to them. Now, I do see here with the Seven of Swords, there has been some dishonesty that's been involved here. Either you have been dishonest with the way that you've been feeling, or maybe you have done some things hidden away from your partner that they don't know about, or vice versa. This person has been hiding some feelings, or possibly could have done something very dishonest here. And I feel like you did find out about this, or maybe because things are being withheld, someone not being honest about their feelings. This also brought up the Five of Swords energy here. But again, this does improve. So whatever was going on before in that category of dishonesty or things being hidden, I do see it improving. And the reason why I see this improving, or how it will improve is what I'm trying to say, is that there is going to be some communication here, okay? With the Eight of Wands, there's going to be some communication that does come in for some of you, or you are going to communicate how, with the Ten of Wands here, how this has been a burden. So someone here has been burdened by this dishonesty, or withholding, sneaking. I feel like there's an energy of like not being honest about the way that they felt or about what they were doing. Either way, there has been some burden here with the Ten of Wands, and there needs to be a conversation, and there will be a conversation that brings this all to light. On a lighter side, I do see with the Ten of Chalices, I do feel like there is true potential here with the situation. There is happiness that can be brought out of this relationship. When we're talking about the Ten of Cups or the Ten of Chalices, it's the same thing. We're talking about true fulfillment, happiness in, prosperity, in, relationships in the home. So I do see that things are looking to improve in that category. And you are prompted to, follow your heart here. When we're talking about the King of Chalices, the King of Cups, this is someone that, brings in some stability. So I do see that. I feel like you are definitely yearning for this change. You're looking forward to this transformation. The Knight of Pentacles here, when we're talking about things improving, sometimes the Knight is very, very slow in motion. So it could be some time that this happens. I am picking up that for some of you, it could be spring to summertime, when this really starts to transform into something more positive. Things are improving, but I think it's going to be spring to summer for some of you, where it really does look brighter towards the Ten of Cups, where things look more satisfying in that area. But going back to the King of Chalices, we're talking about an individual being more stable. I'm seeing that for you, for this individual, you guys as a whole. I feel like once the dishonesty, the true feelings, I also feel like you need to really let this individual know how you are feeling about being left out in the cold, or having the feelings of fear of rejection. I think that needs to come out. For some of you, there could have been an individual that was dishonest in the past to you. Maybe there were some shady goings-ons, and you have the burden of that. And so now you have a little bit of fear when it comes to moving into a relationship. But you do need to communicate that. And I feel like this other person also has some burdens that they have dealt with in the past, and they will be willing to, openly communicate that with you as well. I feel like there's more commonalities in your background history when it comes to relationships than you may possibly know at this point in time. But there's definitely the communication has to come in. I feel like the communication that may have been there may have been more on the conflict side. And so now we need to have some, more calmer, understanding communications They're going to be hard conversations because you need to talk about the burdens that you carry individually, and the burdens of the relationship. So if you feel like you've been dishonest or the other person has been dishonest, you really need to articulate how that's made you feel. Because without that, you're not going to be able to progress into a situation where it's going to be a 10, fulfillment there. The outcome is promising, though. I do see with the 10, with the 2 rather, pentacles, we're talking about balance here. We're talking about negotiation. So there is going to be a negotiation to, again, through the communication, how you feel, how that person feels, where do we go from here? Also, I'm seeing down here again, travel. So travel is here twice. So for some of you, definitely someone either needs to come to you to have this conversation, or you'll go to them. But there is some travel here. So this could just be in the aspect of, seeing each other and having the conversation. But for some of you, it is traveling to do this. And with that, there will be some negotiation here to move forward, and some stability. So seeing stability here twice. But there does need to be a decision. Are we going to work on this? And are we going to do this together and openly? Now, when we are looking at what you have for your guidance here, you did get the outdoors card here. So I always read this in a couple different ways. It does prompt you to go outside and get some fresh air and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. So for some of you, you do need to physically go outdoors. Some of you have been inside of your own space in your own home because of this feeling of being left out in the cold. You're feeling like you need to be in a space where you feel safe or you feel secluded. So some of you do need to go out because this will physically make you feel better. I am also reading that card that some of you need to go outside of yourself and really, again, follow your heart, follow your mind, that speaks positively. Get out of this fear of rejection. Some of you don't want to have this conversation because I feel like you might be in fear that if you do articulate how you're feeling or how this individual made you feel, or even if you had some things that you weren't honest about, then you will be left out in the cold. So just stepping outside of that mindset and really just taking a step forward and being truthful and, being able to move forward through that. Overcoming difficulties, okay? Beautiful card. This prompts you to know that the worst is now behind you and you are surmounting any previous challenges. Absolutely. We see that here with the death card here. There is a transformation. Those old behaviors, those old cycles are dying and new positive ones will be built here. All right, lastly, it says that you know what to do. So you are in this particular card, you're prompted to use your own, again, discernment, your own intuition. It says, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Okay. So, that's not my favorite card as the way that it looks. Some of these cards, I love the message, but some of these cards, I don't like the images. Unfortunately, that's one of them. But the message is really clear and true. You have to trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. And not only with the Eight of Wands, with that being communication, that's fast communication. Something needs to come in, and it needs to happen now to get you out of this energy here. So I am excited that these are all correlating to what you need to do. Lastly, I always feel like in situations like this, I like to get some additional guidance when it comes to your own personal spirit guides, the angels that are surrounding you. For those of you that I'm picking up off of your energy, I'm just asking those particular spirit guides that surround you and angels to really pull forward and give a collective message here, something that they want you to personally know pertaining to this situation. So let's see what they have here for you. This is the postcard of the Spirit deck that I'm using, which I love as well. All right, let's get this here. I really like them to jump out naturally. All right, that one wanted to come out. All right, so it says, on Earth, humans learn about life by telling stories and creating new ones based on shared experiences. Eventually, after repeating one often enough, it becomes your main story that you use to define yourself and the world. So to get the answers you seek, you must get vulnerable and hear your story when you tell it. Ask why you tell it. Is it really true? What else can be true? Can you see the truth that spirit is in all things? Do you see how other stories overlap and intertwine? Spirit loves stories, for they are like blueprints for co-creation. So tell the one we know to be true about you, a story of courage, gratitude, and honesty. Tell an empowered story about well-being, wisdom, and grace. You will experience your world according to the story you tell about it. So make sure they're stories you're proud of. Okay? Absolutely. So this is the message. And what I got out of that is that you do need to tell a new story for yourself. No more feeling left out in the cold. No more feeling like you're rejected or going to be rejected. With the death card here present, we're talking about transformation. You need to transform into a new story that you can tell. So to me, that speaks to that. Also, something that jumped out to me was that, telling the truth. We talked about that here with the Seven of Swords here. It's time to tell the truth here, and through the communication. That's what I've been saying through this whole reading. You really have to tell the truth of how you're feeling, or tell the truth about what you've been doing, or if someone has been doing something very dishonest in the past. It looks like they're trying to improve that, but even still, you need to let them know how that has made you feel so that you can release that energy, and that will allow you to let go of any hidden hurts or any bitterness that could, go up against the relationship as a whole, moving into a positive direction. So this is what I have for you, Sag. I hope that this resonated for some of you. I'm excited there is some transformation coming your way. It looks like this is a situation that has some great potential. So if this reading is for you and you feel like it resonated, go ahead, share, like, comment, and subscribe.